Sunday at Old Trafford was one of those days that leave a lasting impression. For some, a moment of joy, for others, sheer despair. Under the management of Arne Slot, Liverpool endured an afternoon filled with drama, frustration, and intense criticism, culminating in their fourth consecutive defeat across all competitions. The culprits this time were Manchester United, now led by Ruben Amorim, who seems to have found the formula to revive the grit and attacking spirit reminiscent of the Red Devils' golden era. The match ended 2-1 in United's favour, but the game was far more than the scoreline suggests. It was an emotional rollercoaster that exposed errors, revealed nerves, and left Liverpool at a crossroads. Right from the first minute, Liverpool felt the weight of the night. Bryan Mbeumo, in a move that combined pace, opportunism, and a marking error, opened the scoring for United. It all began with an aerial duel between Virgil van Dijk and Mbeumo. Alexis McAllister ended up on the ground. Slot's team appealed for a foul, but the referee waved play on. In the blink of an eye, Mbeumo ran behind Van Dijk, exploited the space, and finished with composure past goalkeeper Georgi Mamardashvili. A devastating start that silenced the Liverpool bench and left the Dutchman looking to the sky in disbelief. The response came with intent, but lacked luck. Cody Gakpo, one of the most dangerous players on the pitch, struck the crossbar with the shot that seemed destined for the net. On the other side, Bruno Fernandes suffered the same fate. The ball hit the post. The game was frantic and chaotic, prompting Gary Neville, commentating, to repeatedly call it mad. It was the kind of classic when no one could predict the next chapter. Manchester United, more intense and daring, exploited gaps through Mbeumo and Amad Diallo, while Liverpool appeared hesitant, torn between attacking and defending. At the 35-minute mark came one of the most symbolic moments of the match. Ibrahima Konate released Alexander Isak on a promising counter-attack, a golden chance for the striker to score his first Premier League goal for Liverpool. Gary Neville even said, "This is your moment." But Seny Lammens, United's goalkeeper, produced a spectacular save, frustrating the Swede and prompting the stadium to erupt in applause. The scene seemed to capture the spirit of the game. Liverpool tried, created chances, but something, luck, nerves, or disorganisation, always prevented them from finishing. The second half saw Liverpool grow even more aggressive. Arne Slot pushed his side forward, and the pressure became relentless. Gakpo struck the crossbar once more, while Mohamed Salah missed a clear chance at the far post, squandering what could have been the equaliser. Anxiety built with every passing minute, and supporters began to sense that the team no longer possessed the calm control that once defined them. Yet the Reds' fighting spirit emerged at the 78th minute. In a move combining persistence and intelligence, Florian Wirtz recovered a near-lost ball and fed the recently substituted Federico Chiesa to set up a precise cross. The ball found Gakpo, who finally found the net. The hard-earned equaliser felt like the rebirth of a team unwilling to die. But the joy was short-lived. 6 minutes later came the fatal blow. Bruno Fernandes, with a touch of class, delivered a pinpoint cross to Harry Maguire, who rose above Konate and headed into the corner. The stadium erupted again. United's bench reacted with pure euphoria. Amorim celebrated as if it were a final. On Liverpool's side, Arne Slot merely shook his head, visibly frustrated. He knew this was the type of goal that cannot be conceded at this level. The defence, once a symbol of stability, now seemed like a house of cards on the verge of collapse. In the final minutes, desperation took hold. Gakpo had another incredible header but sent it over. Salah, visibly dejected, walked the pitch without the spark that made him an idol. When the referee blew the final whistle, the 2-1 scoreline felt heavier than ever. United, now just 2 points behind Liverpool, made it clear that the battle for the top of the table would show no mercy.
The English press was unforgiving, and pundits were harsh. Jamie Carragher, a Reds legend, was direct. United caused real problems for Liverpool. Mbeumo dragged Van Dijk out of position several times, destabilizing the entire backline. He also highlighted something unprecedented. For much of the season, Van Dijk looked after Konate. Today, it seemed the roles were reversed. Gary Neville, commenting alongside, agreed immediately. Yes, Konate was Liverpool's best defender. He played with personality. As for Kerkez and Van Dijk, they were not up to the mark. During the interval, criticism intensified. Roy Keane, with his blunt and merciless style, tore into Liverpool's captain. Van Dijk's positioning was terrible. He shouldn't have been so far up on that play. It's basic. A player of his caliber cannot make that kind of mistake. Jamie Redknapp pointed to what he considered the Dutchman's crucial error. He has to run back. He cannot simply push responsibility onto Konate. Mbeumo is fast and clever. When you let him go, it's too late. It was a fundamental mistake. The criticisms did not stop there. Milos Kerkez, a young prospect and one of Slot's signings, was described as a nervous disaster by Redknapp. The left-back appeared completely lost against Amad Diallo's pace and skill. With every United attack, Liverpool's defense wobbled. And if that wasn't enough, Salah also joined the list of the criticized. He has been careless with the ball, loses rhythm in his decisions, and doesn't contribute off it. He needs to do more, said Carragher, reflecting what many fans had already felt. Amid the chaos, only Konate received praise. Neville highlighted his tenacity and described it as his best game in a long time. Even so, individual recognition could not hide the collective collapse. Liverpool seemed emotionally drained, and Slot, visibly thoughtful on the sideline, knew he would need more than motivational speeches to turn things around. With the result, pressure on Arne Slot rises considerably. The Dutchman, tasked with reinventing Liverpool after the Jurgen Klopp era, now faces the challenge of rebuilding a team that appears to crumble emotionally with each setback. The sequence of 4 consecutive defeats is the worst since 2017, and urgent answers are needed. Nevertheless, there is internal confidence that Slot possesses the vision and calm required to reconstruct the squad. Sources close to the dressing room claim the manager still has the players' support, though there is frustration among some veterans. Van Dijk, captain and symbol of leadership, is going through a delicate period. For years, he was the pillar of defense and the face of Liverpool's stability. Now, with decisive mistakes and mounting questions, he must prove he can still lead the backline with the same authority as before. Salah, meanwhile, needs to rediscover the spark and precision that made him one of the Premier League's top forwards. Youngsters such as Kerkez and Wirtz must show the maturity to shoulder the responsibility of the red shirt in turbulent times. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere is one of self-reflection. Slot is described as calm but demanding. He knows the system requires adjustments, particularly in defensive transitions and compactness between the lines. The manager has also spoken openly about the need for greater composure in finishing, something evident in the chances wasted by Gakpo and Salah. The next clash at Anfield is viewed as a true trial by fire. A win could reignite confidence, another slip could plunge the club into a deeper crisis. But Liverpool is a team with soul, and history shows that it is precisely in adversity that this club tends to rise again. Van Dijk, Salah, Wirtz, Konate and company face the challenge of turning criticism into fuel. Arne Slot, who preaches intensity and a winning mentality, now needs to show that his project is more than mere words. It is resilience, reinvention, and faith in his style. Because in the end, that is Liverpool. Emotion, chaos, brilliance, and pain, all wrapped up in 90 minutes. The defeat to United was painful, but it could mark the turning point that defines the season. A reminder that even giants stumble, but the true ones rise stronger. And if there is one thing Red supporters have learned over the years, it's never to doubt Liverpool's ability to bounce back. Even when all seems lost, Anfield always finds a way to reignite the fire.